So I'm trying this again. I got this new camera a few days ago, or it's a used camera, but new to me. And I took it out to give it a test run without changing any default settings or anything. And I'm not sure if I bought this off eBay. I'm not certain if the seller did a factory reset on this thing or what, but whatever the case, the settings were all kind of whack. Like the video was only at 30 frames per second, and the photos were, I think, at the 4:3 ratio, which doesn't work for me. So I'm just seeing what this thing can do now that I've adjusted the settings to my preferences, to my liking. Looks like I'm going to meet a new person in my life tomorrow. She seems like a real nice, genuine soul. I think this will be the first person I've ever met in person through Twitter. Twitter has always made me nervous. I feel like I just don't know who I'm dealing with. Who's a troll, who's not. That's a low-flying plane. He said on the day before 9/11. Seriously, where's that coming from? Anyway, we're meeting at Union Square sometime tomorrow. We've corresponded a number of times, only through Twitter, I think, not email or anything. So that'll be fun. And what better way to break in a new camera than to check in on the Doomsday payphone? I'm sure it's not going to work. Didn't work. I didn't check in yesterday, but it hasn't worked for a good long while. It only worked for a period of about 48 hours. Oh, look at this. Somebody cleaned off the graffiti. I don't know if you remember, but I made a comment earlier that while I don't advocate graffiti, sometimes it just works, because there was this big red splotch right under the words "graffiti is a crime," and that's gone now. Maybe that means somebody's been here to fix the phone. No. No, nothing doing. Guess you can't expect miracles. No, there's nothing doing. Christ Jesus said, this phone does not work. That is interesting, though, that it does appear this thing has been taken care of cosmetically. Let's see if that means there's a future for the phone itself. This thing has a 50x zoom. I'm already starting to think I didn't really want or need that. This thing wants to be a DSLR, but it isn't. It's pretty close, though. This is Socrates Sculpture Park. I used to be a big fan of this place, but I have to have told this story before. I came out here once, and they had a show called Road Trip. There was a bunch of stuff that you'd expect to find out on the open road, I guess. I forget what year this was. It's been a while now, but I still think about it. Because one of the pieces in this exhibit was a payphone, and I thought that was cool. But as I approached it, I discovered that the name of the piece was the Payphone Project. And in case you didn't know, that's the name of one of my websites. I wasn't offended by that, because I've always thought that my website name was a stupid name. It was actually a shout out to the old apology line, which Alan Bridge always referred to as the Apology Project, or often referred to it as the Apology Project. I didn't realize at the time that a project is a work in progress, and I think he referred to it as a project with a bit of chagrin. Sort of a reference to the fact that he never quite crystallized or found the real point of focus for that thing. But anyway, that doesn't matter. What offended me about this payphone, which I believe was right on this spot in this little clearing, what offended me about it was that there was some text matter on a little scrap of paper printed on the thing, and the text was all lifted verbatim right off of my website, and there was very distinct verbiage and very distinct nuance, and there's no question that that's where it came from. So I figured out how to contact the artist, and I was perfectly nice about it. I just said, would you mind putting my website name on there, or my name, or something like that? And he shot back immediately. He said, if you don't want people using your stuff, then why do you put it up on the internet? And that made me think this kid was like 14 years old. But no, he was a adjunct professor of art at some small Wisconsin college. So he, before I could respond to that, he wrote back again, this time a little more realistic. And he's like, all right, I'll arrange with the museum, or the curators at the park. But it was the park itself that got in on the correspondence, though, and they were like accusing me of lying and saying that I must have lifted the content from somewhere else, or they demanded proof as if I hadn't already provided that. They demanded proof that this was mine, and blah, blah, blah. And they were trying to be all lawyerly, but they really just didn't seem to know what they were doing. But all that washed over, but it's always sort of stayed with me that I wouldn't want to do business with this place. Why would anybody want to live in that building? It really sways, especially on the higher floors. I mean, like, nausea-inducing. phallus at the end of Roosevelt Island. That's the lighthouse. I gotta get rid of this shirt, by the way. I put it on, I just forget how oversized it is. It's from when I weighed about 20 pounds more. It is comfortable, though. Wow, I wonder where that goes. Waiting for something to burst out of there. There used to be a lot of interesting stuff down here, but they finally cleaned it up. There was actually a payphone down here that someone had thrown out. And the coin box had been torched. It took me surprisingly long to realize that somebody had stolen the phone and ripped out all its coins and disposed of the evidence. There was other stuff out here too, but I think the water's a little too high anyway for where there were like a bunch of iPhones and other stuff. I just realized I have actually met a few people through Twitter. I've never trusted it, and I don't really even think, I mean, it's called social media, but I just never thought of it as a place to socialize. Maybe that's just some personality tick that I should work on, but I just feel like the whole Twitter universe could turn against me at any time. I have no idea why that would happen. Perfectly respectable guy, right? I love this staircase. Something erotic about it. This is Rainey Park, by the way. This is where one time I was walking over to Costco and I passed one of these trees over here by the fence, and there was a dead chicken or rooster or whatever it is on the ground next to one of the trees. And there happened to be a couple of park rangers parked in a truck nearby. That's not usually the case at this park. So I went over and I said, I'm sorry to bother you guys, but there's like a dead chicken over by that tree. And they said they'd take care of it. So I went on to Costco, and as I was coming back, they had found the chicken. Battery ran out. I was in mid-sentence. So as I was coming back from the Costco, I saw the two park rangers at, I believe it was this tree, and they had their surgical gloves and looked like hazmat gear. And they saw me walking by again, and the one guy said, "Dinner is served." I said, no thanks, I get my food at the supermarket. And he was saying something about Santeria comes out here and does some sort of ritual involving chickens or something, which sounded weird to me at first, but then I quickly remembered, first of all, there are a lot of Pollo Vivo places around here where you can buy freshly killed chickens and goats and whatever else. So that's probably where they got it. But if they did a sacrifice, that would mean they somehow got the chicken alive. So I don't know if that's really what happened. But that ranger further added that he had only been on the job at this site for maybe 2 weeks, and this was already the 4th report that he had of a dead chicken on the property, on the premises. So he just kind of laughed it off. People come out here and burn little campfires, I guess. That is coal, right? It's not something I see every day, but I guess that's what that is. Or is it just a big pile of shit? This is an area where you can park your car forever. There's no side of street parking restrictions. So this car has been here for years on this spot. And I don't know what the story is. But the window's been gone. And these 2 bricks or rocks have been holding down that sheet of plastic. This thing must have got flooded during the rain last week or earlier this week. No license plate. What's the deal?